To look at ICOs, how they have developed and how regulation is affecting the markets, we speak to Greg Thomas from 375 Park Associates. Greg, for those who are not too hot on the topic, how have ICOs developed over 2018 and what are the major differences between them and cryptocurrencies?
Hi, Jack. It's good to talk to you again. As you know, ICOs really took off in 2017, and the momentum has continued through the first half of the year. But I want to tackle the second part of your question first. In terms of the differences, cryptocurrency coins are a media of exchange. They use cryptography to secure the transactions, while value tokens are used by blockchain-based projects and don't strive to serve as a digital currency for many different purposes. In fact, there is some risk with ICO tokens, is their function is tied to the network hosting them, while most cryptos are completely independent. To paraphrase from David from the Droid Guy, think of Ethereum like the internet, while an ICO token is a website. And I think that'll give you kind of an idea of the differences in how they function. Now back to the developments in the ICO space. It looks like the sky's the limit as investors embrace this new form of funding with open arms. In fact, it has become a key part of the asset allocation strategy for many of the family offices I have spoken to over the last quarter. And this marks a significant change from the last year when many were still unsure about the category. While this year's success has been buoyed by the nearly $2 billion Telegram ICO, it does not look like the issues linked to Telegram have had a massive knock-on effect to the rest of the space. And in many ways, the problems with Telegram point to one of the innovations that I'm currently seeing in this space, and that is the increasing number of ICOs going through SEC Reg A and Reg D filing processes in the US. And the same is true in Europe for the regulatory authorities there. Another development are plans for regulated exchanges, and this would help to ease investor concerns, as this is it is leading to an increased interest from family offices and hedge funds, and with the higher level of due diligence that goes with those investors, especially in pre-sales, I think we'll start to see better quality of ICO going forward.
Also, how is regulation affecting the ICO environment? Do you feel it will benefit the users in the end?
Jack, that's a great question. Personally, I think it is much needed. In fact, I think the move towards a regulated market is a key reason why ICOs have continued to grow, even though large cap cryptos such as Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Ripple have experienced tremendous volatility this year. Overall, I think this development is a net benefit for promoters and investors alike. I'm sure many of my libertarian friends won't agree, but a minimal level of regulation in the market not only helps to establish the rules of the road, but can also help to keep out more unscrupulous promoters. Granted, no investing is without risk, but I believe the advent of rational regulation will help to ensure that most ICOs stay true to their stated function and don't become another speculative asset class. We have enough of those already.
Finally, Greg, looking forward, what other sort of major changes do you expect to see before the end of the year?
Ensuring a thriving ICO ecosystem requires input from all stakeholders. Doing so will help to increase transparency and decrease investor risk. As such, founders and promoters should focus on providing a clear justification for the blockchain use and their own token utility. I think also we should work to make the ICO process more like an IPO. Use transparent legal structures, ensure that funds and personal data are secured before, during, and after the listing process. And lastly, they need to ensure legal compliance, not only in the country of registration, but also in all the countries where project operations and the token use is planned. Now, on the investor side, they need to make use of public blockchain transparency for what is known as advanced due diligence. This includes not only analyzing the code of the smart contract, but also looking at the platform, which should usually be available. In addition, they should only invest in smart money. In other words, they need to avoid FOMO, like the plague. And lastly, they should become experts in ICO pricing, maybe even better than the founders and promoters themselves. This might be contentious, but it'll allow investors to make more informed decisions. For the regulators, they should start by linking crypto ICO investing to existing laws. Now, I know this isn't perfect, but that's the first step. The next step should be to update as needed. We have enough laws everywhere already. We shouldn't be layering more laws on top of each other. We need a more rational approach. When it comes to this asset class, market controls should be followed, but only within reason. In addition, regulators should standardize the minimum requirements for reporting, as public blockchain allows for automated reporting and increased project transparency. They should also seek to protect the rights of utility token holders until the token can be used to pay for platform services. This is a key issue, and it includes keeping a close eye on token turnover and including changes in token supply and functionality. Lastly, regulators need to find ways to cooperate with other regulators in other countries, at least in the jurisdictions with the largest number of ICOs, ICO investors, and crypto exchanges.
Well, a massive thank you to Greg, and thank you for watching. If you enjoyed this interview and would like to find out more, be sure to head over to dukascopy.tv.